Video analytics allow retailers to improve both store performance and shopping experience. So we will now learn about AI boosting retail. And for this, I am very happy to welcome Lukas. He is Business Development Manager at Sensormatic and totally ready to tell us more. Welcome, Lukas. How are you doing?
Thank you very much, Helena. I'm doing pretty well. Thanks.
All right, then. So we're all ready and set and all ears. Take it away, Lukas.
Okay, thank you very much. So since I don't know where you guys are located, I'll start with good morning, good day, or good evening, depending on where you're located. My name is Lukas, and I'm working for Sensormatic. My job is being a business development manager at that company. And today, as Helena mentioned, I will be speaking about artificial intelligence and how it could boost retail. So on my first slide, I'm going to spend, I promise, just 2 minutes on who we are and on how we are allowed to be speaking here. So we are pretty much an integrator for Asina when it comes to video analytics solutions. This is part of our portfolio that we have. And I'll just give you a few numbers to get some context. So when we talk about Sensormatic, we are part of the Johnson Controls company, which you might have heard of. And we do have more than 55 years of innovation experience. We did a lot of patents as well while developing technologies. We do have a lot of experts globally. And as you can see with all these numbers, I'm not going to do an assisted reading on every line there is. There's a lot of experience that we can provide when it comes to retail. So since this is pretty much a security event, I would call it, we might be the outsider a little bit. We do have to do with security for sure when it comes to loss prevention, video surveillance, and so on. But we do focus on retailers on a lot of different levels as well. We have a look at inventory, shopper experiences, loss prevention, video analytics, and much more when it comes to everything allocated to retail. And as I promised, nothing more about the company. We will just have a look at my next slide, and then we will be talking about how can video analytics improve retail business. So the question is in the header already. Can video analytics improve retail business? The short and clear answer to this is no, it can't. But it can provide all the information that you yourself need to improve your retail business. Just because you will be investing and doing video analytics does not mean automatically your business is going to be boosted, right? That would be a false friend. So it's just a foundation to get all the data that you need to boot your business yourself, right? So to start it off, a very short definition, you could call it. It's about monitoring customers and to interpret what you see, the behavior, the movement. Everything you see on that video material can be interpreted. It might be senseful, it might be not, but depending on your decision, you may take appropriate action afterwards. So when we are talking about video analytics, it's a very broad field to talk about, right? But if you narrow it down a little bit, it comes out to be what is said in the definition. What is now the connection to retail and how can it help retailers? As I mentioned in the beginning, video analytics gives you insights. This could be about pretty much everything you would want to have insights about. So I just listed a few examples that we are going to rush through to mention some ideas to head out and start with something to give you pretty much a short cheat sheet on what you could be looking at to start gaining insights. So if we talk about store layouts, it's a very big topic in these days. Is my store compliant to legal obligations? Is it attracting new customers? A very big topic at the moment for store layouts are self-checkouts, for example. How could I integrate them? Is it in corporate design, and so on. So if we talk about store layouts, video analytics can help you with heat mapping. What is heat mapping? Heat mapping is pretty much the video analytics solution to show you how your store layout is used and frequented by your customers. That means if you have the drawing of your store, you will have the video analytics tool having a look at every movement there is, and it will heat map it in colors. Most of the times it's from green to red or blue to red, to show you which areas are used the most, which could help you in what case, right? If you talk about product positioning, for example, if you have products that are chocolate bars, for example, if you are a retailer, you would like to have them somewhere where a lot of people are walking or going through, since this is a cheap product that is grabbed and passerby a lot of times, right? It can help you with the layout in bigger malls as well. So if you know that area over there is crowded a lot, it's used and walked a lot, you could maybe ask for more money for a shop in the shop concept if you know that, and you can sell your store for a lot of more, right? A next topic we could scratch on is traffic. When we talk about traffic, it's pretty much covered with people counting. People counting can start in a small store with one door or several doors that you can connect, and you would want to know how many people are coming in a day. How much traffic do I have? A lot of people say, that's not really that interesting, the traffic. But what if you combine it with when people are coming in, and you get the high traffic times, for example? You could choose the resources better. You could have more people in the rush hours as employees, and in the later or early hours, or when there's less traffic, you could move that around, right? So there will be a real life example for traffic later on as well. Next point on the list is shopper behavior. When we talk about shopper behavior, that's a very big word, right? So I'm just going to jump on a very small aspect of it. And as I mentioned here, it's path analysis. There's also a small picture on the right, which is coming from one of the apps that is provided on the Asina shop, coming from Link Retail here, which is just an example on what path analysis means. So if I am a customer and I'm coming to this point from the store, where am I going to head? My next steps, left, central, or right? And you could do that on pretty much every corner you have in your store if you would want to know how many people are going where. Because maybe you have the products with a very high margin, very high turnover potential, or whatever, in an area where not a lot of people are going to, right? And if you then combine it with heat mapping, for example, you could rethink your store concept as well. Because maybe you do know that the left part here in the back, which is not on the picture, might be highly used on the heat map, but the people are going a very long way or very short way. You could decide on your own, do I want them to have a shortcut to go the short way, to be there in time and get out again because I have very short cycles? Or do I want to get the longer path, so they pass most of the products and they grab more and things they didn't really want, right? So that's one of the possibilities for the shopper behavior. It's also, if you go deeper into that material, maybe a lot of people are going to the right side, but are not buying things that are on that path. So could be that the path is very interesting, but the products are the wrong ones. Another very interesting point is demographic data. So when it comes to demographic data, we can talk about age, gender, and a lot of different specifications you could consider. So it might be very interesting to know who's buying what in my store. For example, it might be interesting to know that on a Friday morning, the people shopping in your store are most likely in the age of 40 to 65, for example, doing their weekly shopping. And why is it important if these people are 40 to 65 and most likely female could be interesting for your advertisement in the store. Because if you know for really dedicated periods of time, this is going to be the person who will be shopping there, you can adapt, right? You can adapt products, pricing, marketing. One point that is always on the list and not the most likable one is legal obligations. When it's about retail and I'm going to use the bad word corona, right? We do have the corona time. It's crucial to know how many people are in the store, how many people are allowed in the store, is the social distancing applied, is everybody wearing a mask, and so on. This is something video analytics can help you with as well. Since we just have the time to really scratch on the surface, what you can sum up is all the retailers, except if you are a non-profit organization, but then most likely you are not one of the bigger retailers, want to earn money. So everything we do in that store is, in the end, we want to generate turnover and we want some earnings, right? So everything we do in this store is to sell more, to earn more money. So everything video analytics can do is, as I mentioned in the beginning, provide the basis, the foundation for you to take appropriate action to improve your store and, in the very end, to increase benefit. As I promised in the beginning, on my last slide, I'm going to show you a real life example. Since a lot of topics that we cover do get the questions, is this real life or is it just fantasy, right? So on my last slide, I'm going to talk about a real case study that we did together with Asina and Happy Donuts. Happy Donuts is a retailer, a food franchiser, as they call themselves, that are very often located in bigger malls. And how do they use video analytics? They have, for most of the stores, just 1 or 2 cameras with an application from Link Retail running on it, where they do pretty much people counting and a little bit of queue management. What does it mean? Since they are in a mall, they want to know how many people are walking by my shop, how many people have a look at my shop, decide to stay still for a moment, and are they buying or not? Will they stay visitors or will they become customers, shoppers? That's the crucial information. So what we did with them is we did install the camera and the app. We talked about the aim, the goal, what should the output be? And then we decided together with Asina, the best solution would be the Link Retail application. And what they did in the end, for the long story short, they changed their opening hours. They did realize, okay, in the very morning, a lot of people are passing by, but they're not buying anything. We don't need to open there. That's just burnt money, right? We move the opening hours and the main focus on the later hours and a little bit longer in the evening, since there are a lot of people who actually want to grab a donut from Happy Donuts or a coffee or whatever. So this is pretty much what you can start with. It's a very small budget solution that helped to improve their turnover a lot. And what you should always have in mind when you talk about video analytics and a solution like that, it's not a one-time deal you do. It's something you have to work with, because otherwise it's just data we collect that we don't use. So what I'm going to tell you now is, have a look at what you want to achieve with your store and reach out to me to talk about video analytics and what we could do with video analytics to help you generate more and to boost your store. If there are any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. Give me a call, reach out to me via mail. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.